Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Arati. I'm coming on today with breaking news regarding the Eidl program. Eidl grant recipients, those that are sole proprietors, independent contractors that received overpayments. This is for you. I'm also going to be talking about the Eidl 2.0. This is the increase of your loan amounts, your modifications up to $2 million. What you need to know about that. We'll be talking about the approvals and denials and what you should do if you're trying to plan to get an increase of your Eidl loan. We're also going to be talking about the Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness. That is a big push right now by the SBA to have all of you all that have PPP loans to get your loans forgiven. So we'll be talking about that, ways to get approved. Some of the denials and payments that are due back as well. And we're going to be talking about the IRS notices that are going out for overpayments as well. So these are all things that are important to you as an entrepreneur and small business owner, things that I've been talking about for a while now. But do come on in. I see a lot of you all already here. It's Monday. Hope you all are having a great start to your week. If you have not done it already, do give this a thumbs up, hit that love button, tag a business owner, entrepreneur you think or believe that needs to know this information. This is important information for all of us to be to know. If you have not subscribed already, if you're not following us across social media, do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where we have all of our explainer videos, all of our resource videos on our channel. If you are all about leveling up your business, building wealth and legacy for your business, you need to be tuned into our YouTube channel. So definitely do that and then share out, because sharing is caring. There's still so many businesses that are struggling, so many businesses that need help and overcoming the challenges with a number of these different programs and just need help keeping their business above water, pivoting and scaling their business. So we need as many of you all to share as possible. So let's get right into it, because we have a lot to cover. Feel free to drop your questions. Let me know who you are, where you're hailing from, what your business is, and if any of these things are applicable to you. Now, the Inspector General for the SBA, this is Small Business Administration, released a report on October the 7th regarding the Eidl emergency grants that were overpaid to thousands of entrepreneurs that are considered self-employed and independent contractors. Okay, so please listen up to what I'm getting ready to explain. If you're not familiar, the Eidl program launched back in 2020, in March of 2020. It was an emergency situation, urgent situation. So they were getting money out the door as quickly as possible. What does that mean? That means that the long process you're going through right now in 2021 was not that same process in 2020. They basically had the application and had you self-certify that the information that you are providing to them regarding your application, regarding your business status, regarding your employees was and is truthful and accurate. And I said way back then that is important, because once you certify, once you sign and date that is now a legal document that you, as the business owner, as the entrepreneur you are held to, irregardless if it was a mistake or if it was intentional. And we know there was a lot of intentional fraud that was happening. We also know that a lot of you sought out help from people you didn't even know, that was charging you good gobs of money to do your applications, and now they're ghosts. They went ghost. You can't find them. Don't know what they put on your application, but they put fraudulent information on your application, which is the only reason you were able to get the money that you received. And back then, the only thing that you could get was $1,000 per employee. So if you are self-employed or independent contractor, 1099 worker, and you put anything more than one employee, that is false information, right? You don't have employees as an independent contractor. And so I was just having this conversation with my brother as to, what scenarios could take place that will result in this type of thing happening. And so I just stated that some of you all hired the wrong person. Also, some of you all, you had 1099 workers. So you had 1099 workers. When 1099 workers are contractors, they are not considered employees. When they ask for employees, that means W-2 employees that you are paying payroll taxes on. Okay? So right now, they have examined the grants that went out between that March date and the end of the program when they ran out of funds in July of 2020. This program had $20 billion allocated, right? That went very quickly. They extended it and then it ended in July of 2020. So they are right now, they're examining the 1,000 per employee policy that was in place. That is what the report is examining, and that's how they came up with their findings to determine that $4.5 billion was overpaid to this population of entrepreneurs. Now, this is 542,897 sole proprietors that did not use an EIN. They used a social security number. So the SBA could have, or the inspector general is saying that the SBA could have put in simple protocols or triggers in the system to cut back on some of this from happening by simply having something triggered if you did not indicate that you had an EIN, or if you said that you were a sole proprietor, you used your social security number but stated that you had 10 employees, it would have flagged it, right, for some additional types of verification, right, or for you to provide an EIN number. But know that back then, the SBA, by law, they could not request additional documentation. They solely went on your self-certification. But they could have added that trigger to make you or require you to provide that EIN number, which you do need if you have employees. So they did not do that. So that's why we're here now. So you should have claimed no employees is what they're saying, or one. So like when this was all happening, I said to state that you have an employee of one because you as the owner are considered one. Okay. So whether you put one or put zero, the most you would have gotten was $1,000. That's why right now under the new targeted Eidl grants, is being open for you to get the balance thereof up to 10,000 for those that only got partial based on the employee count that you had. Okay. So again, you should have only received $1,000. So that's important to know. So if you're one of those people that should have only received $1,000 and you received anything more than that, I'm going to be talking about some things that are coming up and what may possibly happen to help rectify that situation. Independent contractors. So there were two categories, right? Sole proprietors, independent contractors. Out of the independent contractors, 161,197 received more than $1,000 for a total of 160 million max. But that's what your max should have been. But they actually paid out $1 billion. So the payout for all of the independent contractor solopreneurs out there should have not even been in the billions of dollars. It should have only been in the millions. Okay. So the OIG's recommendations here are for the SBA to try to reclaim these dollars. And so this is $4.5 billion that was overpaid that they're going to be seeking to recover. And here are the options. So we don't know yet. They have not officially said what the process is going to be, but know that soon it will be coming out. So they want to reclaim that money. So how would they do that? Seeking that you, the entrepreneur, provide proof that your application was accurate and that you can substantiate all those employees that you claim. Like there were entrepreneurs claiming 500 employees. Like, how does that even happen? How does that happen? How are you a solopreneur claiming 500 employees, right? I don't know how that happens, but the report shows that there were entrepreneurs that did that. So they will request a reimbursement of those that do not provide that documentation, and then also refer suspected fraud cases to the IG for criminal investigation department. Okay, so like I said, we already know that there were fraud cases out there, but there's also some unintentional, maybe typo error or whatever, some other type of unintentional error. But this is going to be investigated, so you should be anticipating that you may get some type of correspondence. That's why I said you never want to throw out, delete any of your correspondence or documentations related to your business or any of these applications, because at some point, any of these federal agencies can come back to you and require documentation for you to substantiate that you should have received the money that you received and the amount that you received. Okay. And so another option is that the Treasury Department, it would be referred to the Treasury Department Offset Program. And some of you are aware of this program. You know, when you file your taxes, it's tax time already, right? You're getting ready to file your 2022 taxes. And when instead of getting a refund, you found that you got an offset because you owed a federal debt, right? So you may have been back on old child support or unemployment claim or some other debt where they take the money back, and so you did not get your refund. So that is one of the options that is being considered, that anyone that is found to have received money they shouldn't have been entitled to will be referred to this program. You will be put on this list for offsets, okay? And then you would not get the refund that you're entitled to, or you may only get a portion depending on how much money that you receive. So hopefully, and I can't say that all have any remaining monies from the Eidl grant program, but those that you do, I always say you always want to make a reserve, because you just never know. Like, even as a business, when customers and clients charge back, you're supposed to hold reserve a portion of that for chargebacks, right? Because there's always a possibility somebody may come back and say that you overcharged them or that you charged them inappropriately, and you will have to pay that money back, and it will be taken out of your account, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, what happened? And now you're in the negative, but which you wouldn't have been had you had that reserve. Okay, so this is so important, and I've been saying this since 2020. Be careful who you work with. And we say that all the time, even on our pages. There are scammers all the time in the comments, and we tell you, do not pay attention to any of those scammers in the comments trying to lead you to WhatsApp or Telegram. There's people that have tried to pretend to be us, right? And trying to lead you to somewhere that is not good, okay, for you. That's why we refer people. We have an entire network. So if you ever need a referral, you can come to us because they're well vetted. I'm very particular about who I refer out for anything, okay, because integrity matters. And if you get connected with the wrong person, the wrong account, the wrong bookkeeper, the wrong tax person, the wrong person you enlisted help with and paid thousands of dollars to help you with an application, first of all, that they're not supposed to be charging you, because there's parameters for charging, right? And limitations on how much you can charge to help people with applications, okay? So, but you don't know that. So you're a vulnerable business owner and you just gave all your information, gave your application over to this person, but they are not the ones responsible. You as the business owner, you as that entrepreneur are ultimately the one that the government is going to come back to and hold accountable for any monies that you received that you weren't entitled to. Okay? So what we do know is that the agency is going to be hiring an outside contractor to help assess the process for reclaiming the $4.5 billion of funds and developing a program to retrieve that money back. Okay. So as we get more updates on that, we would definitely keep you updated on that, because you definitely want to know what's happening in that regard. Let me just see here. Now, as of today, as of date, the Justice Department has prosecuted hundreds of cases of fraud across these different programs, PPP and Eidl included, and have reclaimed over $600 million. So it's important to note that as well. And they will continue to do it. They will continue to do so. Okay. So let's move on to the Eidl 2.0. So Eidl 2.0 is really the increased cap of the Eidl loan modifications up to $2 million. Remember, it was first you could only get $150,000. Then Isabella Gunsman came into office. She increased the cap to $500,000, and then together the White House and the SBA increased it to $1 million. However, there was an exclusivity period of 30 days through October the 8th, where the SBA was only processing those loans or loan increase requests that are below $500,000. So that period ended on the 8th. Okay, so now they're processing these applications. So you may have received an approval letter or a denial letter. If that is the case, either one, please let me know in the comments if you received a letter from the SBA letting you know that your increase was approved, or if your increase was denied. Okay, so they're already sending those letters out. And they're sending out denial letters. And one of the things that they're sending in your denial letter, they will always let you know the reason for the denial. I hear so many people saying they don't know why they were denied. So the only way that could be is if you just looked in your portal and you saw you were denied, or you called and you found out you were denied before you got the official notice. But the rep can also tell you why you were denied. Then you want to make sure that they give you or provide that document that shows the determination of the denial and why, the reason why you were denied. And so one of the reasons is lack of ability to repay, right? So even if you're a business and you requested $1 million loan, that's why they're asking you to upload all of these different documentation, right? Your taxes, your scheduled liabilities, your personal financial statement. They're looking at all of that to determine, do you really have the capability to pay back all the money that you're requesting in an increase? That's why you want to make sure that you evaluate, work with your accountant or your CFO on a plan for your money, right? You don't need to request all at once. You can request up to the max, but you don't have to take the max, okay? And just because it says based on some preliminary information, you qualify up to, $1 million, they will evaluate your whole portfolio and various financial factors to determine if you can really afford to take out a loan. They don't want to give you a loan that you can't afford to pay back, and you don't want to take out a loan that you can't afford to pay back. Okay, so I talked about this before. They have calculations on how they calculate and how you can calculate yourself to determine what your maximum amount would be. Okay, so that's one of the things, is your ability to pay that loan back. So you may see a denial regarding that. But guess what? If you don't agree, you still have the ability to appeal, to request a reconsideration of that increase. Okay. And this is just a reminder for those that did request an increase. And again, some of you are making errors. You're just moving too fast. And so you requested the wrong amount in the increase, and you're asking, okay, what do I do? Can I stop the process? You need to follow through with that process, get the increase you requested, then go back and request more money, and be careful of the amount that you are requesting before you hit that submit button. Okay, because you're going to have to wait. Then it's a waiting game again. And now you don't have the money that you actually need to achieve whatever goal you have set out for that money in your business. Okay. So new uses, including business debt and federal debt. I've talked about this in other videos, but that is part of what the changes were as well. So you have more uses of the money. We have videos on what you can use the money on in your business. So you just need to make sure that you're using it on what they consider qualified expenses. You can also find this information detailed in the SBA's FAQs, which can be found on their website at sba.gov/Eidl, EIDL. Or also another thing that they look at, the SBA, is your top line revenue and your profit and your business, right? So I said they look at a number of different things where your credit may not be as good, but your revenue is good and your profits is good. And this is something where you've been waiting and you may have gone to your bank, and the banks, I already told you 80% of the banks are not, if they will not even approve you. And it's such a struggle. The businesses that are making millions of dollars still struggle to get financing through their banks. Okay. But we know that people are able to get money through the SBA through this disaster program, but not everyone is going to get approved. There's still 50% of businesses get denied. Okay. So these are just some things that you need to know, but you get denied, you can definitely request reconsideration of the loan, reevaluation of the grant, and many thousands of businesses have been able to overcome the denials through the appeal process. Okay, so I may circle back on Eidl in just a second. Just to reiterate, because I know there's new viewers here. Okay, if you have not applied for the Eidl grant, the targeted Eidl grant that is now open, has been extended, and not only to those that applied in 2020, but those that have applied to the Eidl loan program in 2021. Go check your email, your inbox, and your spam folders, promotional folders for that email invite from the SBA. Make sure you are applying. That is a grant which is free money up to $15,000 for you to get the balance of the grant that you got in 2020 up to 10,000, or if you're a new applicant, getting 10,000, and then the supplemental grant of $5,000 that you can get for your business. Reminder, you must be in a low income community to receive the grant. You must be able to demonstrate a 30% loss in sales in a quarter in 2020 compared to 2019. And you must have 300 employees or less. For the supplemental grant, 5,000, you need still be in low income community, 10 employees or less, and 50% decrease in gross sales. And again, this is business sales, right? Not everybody understands these terms. So not your employment income at your job, not unemployment income, not even grants that you earn. This is what did you make in sales? Selling your product, selling your service, selling your class. What revenue did you bring in your business before any expenses, before taxes? That is gross. Okay. So for those that don't know, and people still don't know, because they still ask me as of yesterday, how do I calculate my gross sales? I can't tell you how many people don't know what sales they're making, how much they're losing, what their expenses are in their business. And it's causing you to lose out on a lot of money that is out here and available for you. Or you're getting it, then you're going to lose it because they're going to ask for it back because you just did not calculate it correctly. Okay. So let's move on to the IRS. Just want to cover this really quickly because the IRS is sending out overpayment notices. Okay. Overpayment notices. This is the CP14. So they've already sent out 9 million Americans that have received this notice. They're getting a bill for payments due. And this is due to a mathematical error due to the stimulus overpayment, either your stimulus check or from your child care credits. Okay. So this is something you definitely want to be mindful of. If you receive this notice from the IRS, please let me know in the comments. Most of these are those who claimed a recovery rebate credit, and this is it for those that were eligible for the stimulus but didn't receive it. And then what you were able to do is to claim the credit on your taxes. But again, it's like I said, so many people are doing their own taxes, don't know how, or you're hiring people that don't know what they're doing. And in any case, if it's not calculated correctly, what does that mean? And it results in an overpayment, you're gonna owe that money back. So that's why this is not, filing your taxes, preparing your taxes is not anything you should be taking lightly. It's not anything you should be doing on your own if you do not know what you are doing. If you don't have the education, you're not up to date on the education credits, you should not be doing it, because you're going to be making mistakes and then have to owe back money that you wouldn't have had to owe if you had just hired the right person. Okay. Again, if you need referrals, please feel free to email us at hello@shebosstalk.com, and I'm happy to give you those referrals. And so even with this, you can appeal. So you can request, once you receive your notice, you can request a rebate of the math errors within 60 days of the notice. So this is not a notice you want to ignore, because you do have a right to appeal. Then the IRS has to reassess your taxes and then issue a determination. Okay, if you have questions on that, put them in the chat box and I'll try to answer them as I can. Now, on to PPP. This is the Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness. If you have a PPP loan, many of you all do. There was $790 billion given out in paycheck protection loans. Now, this is the forgivable loan program, which means if you met the qualifications, you spent the money on eligible expenses within the designated covered periods, you apply and you get it forgiven, it then turns into a grant. That is free money for you that you don't have to pay back, right? So it's no longer a loan. That's amazing. That's what you want. And shout out to those who have gotten their loans forgiven. I've gotten all three of the ones that I had, first draws and second draws, forgiven. Okay. That is what the big push is, to get those forgiven. Now, 6% of borrowers that have applied to have their loans forgiven have had to pay back some part of their loan, okay, due to overpayments. This is an amount of $27 billion, okay? So many of my peers aren't in this category, but we knew that this would be happening. But most of my peers, they have been approved 100% and forgiven 100% by the SBA and their lenders. There is still half of borrowers that haven't finished the forgiveness process. So keep that in mind. Also keep it in mind, because if you're one of those, you want to get your applications in. So I know I heard from some of my peers that some of their lenders are just now coming online with their application process. But remember, there's over 1,400 lenders that have opted into the SBA's direct forgiveness portal. That is there to simplify the process for you, for all of those of you that have loans, PPP loans of $150,000 or less. Okay. It's like a 5-minute application, super simple, quick and easy. It takes 5 minutes, and the SBA's turnaround on a decision is relatively quickly. The lenders that I went through were quick. My loans were forgiven in days of me applying for the program. So it has not been a program that they have been slow in processing these applications, because they want to get them done. If you have experienced any challenges with your PPP loan forgiveness applications, let me know. Because I always like to hear the different stories or experiences that are out there. I just haven't heard of any complicated issues, unless you're dealing with a lender that's non-responsive and they have not opted into the SBA's portal. But you first want to go to your lender, right? See when they're opening their applications, make sure you have all your information, records, documents together and are ready to apply. Now, one of the reasons why there are overpayments is that, well, there's a number of different reasons, but again, some errors, right? It could have been a simple errors on your application when you submitted it that they based the decision on. But at the end of the day, when they went through and did a review, you were overpaid, right? And so it could be that you overstated your employees, you overstated payroll, you overstated owner's compensation. It could be any number of reasons that could result in an overpayment of your PPP loan. But as I mentioned before, whether it is the bank's error, the lender's error, or your error, you still have to pay that back. Now, again, you do have a right to appeal. There is an appeal process. We actually have a video on that. So if you would like more information, you can go check out our PPP playlist and find that video. Yeah, and also if you spend the funds on ineligible expenses, remember, you cannot just spend your PPP money on anything. There are certain expenses that are considered eligible for forgiveness. So if you went and spent your money on something else that's outside of the parameters, then that means that money is not going to be forgiven. And I even explain this, especially to those, right, that are entrepreneurs, sole proprietors, independent contractors, 1099 workers, as far as your owner's compensation and how to apply that owner's compensation to you, right? You don't just get the money and start buying personal items. You actually have to spend it on your business. And you're spending it on your business is allocating it as your owner's compensation, at least 60% of that, and then you can allocate 40% on other eligible business expenses. Or as a solopreneur, you can allocate 100% on your owner's compensation, right? Or owner's salary replacement. But there's a way you have to do that, and then you have to track it. And if they come back and ask for you to prove that that's what you spent it on, you need to have that proof. You need to have the bank statement that the money came in on, and you need to be able to show how you allocated that money back as your payment for your salary. Okay, before you spend it on some other personal thing. You can't just go spend it on your personal mortgage before it actually becomes your salary replacement. Okay, so I went through that, and we have videos on that. If you're still in the process of spending your funds, you have between 8 and 24 weeks to spend your money. So when you apply for forgiveness, they will ask you what cover period you are using, you are under. If you're applying for first and second draws, know that the cover periods cannot overlap. So you need to spend the funds for first draw in a covered period between 8 and 24 weeks, depending on when you took out your loan. And then the second draw, you need to set a cover period for when you spend those funds and apply for that as well. Okay, so again, that is a lot of overpayment information today, but hopefully you're not one of those people. But realistically, there are several thousand business owners that do fall in the category where they're going to be hit with the overpayment. I already know. I mean, people had contacted me before. They already knew that they found out that, the person they work with wasn't on the up and up, and so they were ready to pay it back, so that they didn't get any additional trouble. It wasn't them, but they just didn't really do their due diligence in getting the help that they needed. And the person didn't have integrity. Okay, so these are the top programs right now that you need to be paying attention to and act quickly on. The Eidl loan and grant program closes at the end of December. There has not been word that it's going to be extended. PPP, you're going to have to start paying it back if you don't request forgiveness of your PPP loan. Okay, so you have 10 months after the close of your covered period to request that PPP forgiveness, or else your first payments will become due. I don't want you to be shocked. And some of you are going to be shocked, and your peers are going to be shocked, because some of you were told that it was automatic forgiveness, and it's not. There's a process that you go through for all of these different programs that are out here and available. So do move forward with that. There have been a lot of money given out. A lot of you all have gotten money There's still programs coming out all the time, grant programs coming out all the time. I just listed like 3 or 4 over the weekend. So definitely check out our grant tracker. We always post our resources. They're in the description show notes, and we will pin them to the comments as well. Click on those and go find the resource you need to go after the money you need. There are literally billions and billions and billions of dollars out here available. Most every state has a government COVID grant at the state level. There's grants at the county level, grants at the city level. If your state government does not have a COVID grant, you need to be calling your governor's office and finding out why that is. And that they don't have a program that's supporting your business, and you're struggling to keep your business open when they receive billions of dollars. That if it's not used on small business, then it's unallocated money, and they should not be giving back money to the federal government when there's still small businesses that need help, that need relief. And also child care providers. Every state has grants, special $49 billion that was allocated to across all of the states. More and more states are coming online announcing their programs. I believe North Carolina just opened up a multi-million-dollar fund for child care providers between $3,000 and $30,000 for your business. So you know a child care provider, please tag them in this video, share this video out. This is every state that has this program. These are child care provider grants, and it's probably administered through your child and family services department. If you can't find them, just contact your governor's office, and they will lead you to the department that's handling that. But there's grants in every state. There's national grants coming out every single day, pitch competitions coming out every single day that are available for you to apply for them. So we have the resources. We have the Grant Masterclass. We have our cheat sheet. Both are very popular, have helped thousands of small businesses get grant money during COVID-19. We're almost 2 years in at this point, and there has not been a slowdown on the grants that are available. So maybe at the federal level, right, these federal stimulus grants, but we have to call them, hold them accountable to continue to provide those funds for us. But there's national grants, international grants, grants all over the place. And in your own community, they are literally begging, trying to find where you are as a small business owner. And I can tell you their outreach programs are not the best, even at the federal level. That's why they're implementing the community navigators. We're still waiting for them to announce the grant awardees for that, because they will have boots on the ground to help you all better navigate these programs that are administered by the SBA, so that you can get approved and get funded, get the money that you need for your business. Also, if you are a business, you've been waiting for your federal stimulus or state stimulus to come through, or you were denied, we help provide funding for you. You can we fund up to $2 million, and is revenue-based funding. But we have same-day funding up to $25,000 that we've been able to help all types of businesses, trucking businesses, logistics businesses, salons, barbers, home health, home care facility groups, medical offices, dental offices, consultants, coaches. There is no industry that we cannot help. Okay. But for this funding, the same day funding, like you can apply today and be funded tomorrow. Okay. That's how quick it is. That can fill in the gap while you're still waiting on your Eidl funds to come through, and not have to wait. If you have a contract that requires you an investment, you have a truck you need to buy, you have equipment for your restaurant that you need, like right now, you can get it. But there are requirements. You need to make sure you have at least 5K monthly sales for at least 3 months, be in business 6 months. You need to have an EIN number and a business bank account in your business name in order to qualify for the funding. But I would encourage you, or anyone that you know that has been looking for options, that have been turned down by the banks, been turned down by the SBA, to submit an application and see if you can get approved. Okay, so I would encourage you all to do that. It's been a lifesaver. It's been a game changer for so many small businesses, and it can be a game changer for you. I mean, we just funded, one of our team members funded a salon who she not only helped her business, but she helped the barbershop next door who was closing shop, bought his side, and then put him to work as the leader over that, over the barbers. I mean, that just shows you the spirit of small businesses, right? We're not just out here for ourselves, but we're thinking, we have the mentality, how can we not only just help ourselves, but how can we help our small business neighbor stay in business, keep afloat while we're trying to get through this pandemic that we are still in. It's amazing what you can do. I mean, I know a lady in California. She just opened up, or is opening up, her seventh beauty supply store. We helped fund her so she could go buy inventory from another business that was retiring. So they were going out of business, had a ton of inventory. She needed money now, not next month, not next year. She needed it now, and she got it. Okay. So these are just some of the many examples that we have of how we've been able to help support small business. And we definitely want to help you in any way that we can. Again, you connect with us anywhere we are on social media. Feel free to send us a message. Someone from our team will definitely get back to you in a timely manner. Just ask any of our fellow peers that reach out to us on a daily basis. So use the information, the resources and tools that we have provided, and then go make it happen. Go make it happen. And there's no reason to continue to struggle. There are so many ways to make money online. We just held a magnificent YouTube creator masterclass this Saturday. The testimonials were amazing. Strategies they're taking right after the class to apply to start growing their YouTube channels, growing their tribe, making multiple streams of income. You have content. This right now. It doesn't matter what your business is. It doesn't matter what you do. You need to be on YouTube. It is the biggest, best platform for you, for videos and partnership and paying creators. Right now, they are giving, meaning organizations, companies, governments are giving creators billions of dollars to create content. You have a cell phone, a smartphone, use it. And some of you are using it. You have videos you deleted, or it's just sitting somewhere on Facebook or Instagram. It's not doing anything. It's not making you any money. It's time to start using your content, repurposing your content, create some digital products and make it for sale so people can buy it to make money. You're sitting on a gold mine of content. I don't care what it is. Maybe you have a newsletter. Maybe you have a blog. You can turn that into content that can sell. You can turn that into a video. You can then turn your videos into more content. I mean, the opportunities are endless. And this is the day of the creator, right? You don't have to be a professional. All you need is a cell phone. All you need is a cell phone, and hit that record button and start creating content today, and then put it up on YouTube, and then use the strategies that we provided. And so the class will be made available on demand today. So once it's uploaded, once it's ready, I will add the link to this video. Wherever you are on the platform, you can just go to the comments and see the video or the masterclass. It will be there for purchase, and get to work to making multiple streams of income for your business. There's no need for you to work harder. There's no need for you to keep working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs in order to make a livable wage. You can build wealth and leave a legacy just with passive income, right? You can put yourself in a position to leave that 9-to-5 job that you've been trying to leave. Let's make a plan. How much do you need in order for you to exit that 9-to-5 and go into your business full time, right? How much do you need? Let's start making a plan, set some goals, and start executing this. So you're sitting on a gold mine. Your mind is a gold mine. Your knowledge is a gold mine. Your expertise is a gold mine. And you can start making money using all of those. So I encourage you all to do so. And as always, continue to be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.